So now, in such a world, would you still advise practicing practical wisdom and growing up children, raising children with practical wisdom, the
Oh,
ability?
now more than ever, although it's harder and harder to have the space to do that. For example, the notion that since choice is good, more choice is better. We now know, or at least I know, that that's not true. Well, once you've decided that more choice isn't necessarily better, how much choice is enough?
Yeah.
It's easier to live in a world where just adding every time you add an option, you make things better. Then you don't have to think. Just every time you get the opportunity to add an option to your kid's life, you take that opportunity.
Mm.
Well, along comes a guy like me who says, no, 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 no. There can be too little choice and there can be too much choice, and you want to create the right amount. What's the right amount? This is a very hard question to answer. It's a very hard problem to solve. Wise parents answer this question correctly, and they don't answer it the same way for every child. If you have a timid child, then you probably want to expand the child's universe. If you have a risk taking child, then you probably want to put your arms around the child and protect it. So, what worked for the first child may not work for the second. So, you're always needing to figure out what this particular kid needs at this particular time in his or her life. And that's what wisdom is. Rules help. They get you started. You read all these advice books about how to be a parent, and it's better to have that than to have nothing. But the idea that you can then just follow the recipe, that's fantasy. And I think kids usually teach their parents that it's fantasy.
Yes.
If you're lucky, your kids will show you
Yeah.
that you can't do it by recipe, and you'll be open enough to learn from your children. We have in the book we wrote about wisdom, my collaborator and I have a quote from one mother who says, "My children raised me up."
Yeah.
She's being asked, how did you learn how to deal with the challenges of the parenting? And she said, basically, my children taught me. Now, I think every child has, every parent can be taught by children, but as a parent, you need to be open to the possibility that not only are you teaching your kids, but your kids are teaching you.
Yes.
If you think you already know the answer to every question, then your kids will be teaching and teaching and teaching, but you won't be learning, learning and learning.